This white rose was painted with only orange and blue, no white, no black. By the end of this video, you will understand how that's possible and why it can change the way you think about mixing color in watercolor. In the previous focus lesson, we looked at why artists often study value in black and white. By removing color, we can see form more clearly. We can focus only on light and dark without being distracted by hue. But watercolor works differently from opaque painting. We usually do not rely on black and white paint to build a value structure. Instead, we preserve the white of the paper and build the shadows with the transparent layers. So, in this lesson, we bring color back, but value still leads. I'm showing only the grayscale reference image here for copyright considerations, since the original reference comes from an online source. For the painting itself, I used the full neutral range created by my two complementary colors. I allowed the mixture to lean warmer in the central petals, and then shifted toward the cooler neutrals in the outer petals. Of course, this is only one approach. You can create your own neutral combinations and bring in additional colors to suit the mood, lighting, and character of your subject. These are the two colors I use for the painting, Cadmium Orange Hue and Ultramarine, both from the Winsor & Newton Cadmium range. Now these two colors are complementary. They sit directly opposite each other on the color wheel, and when you mix complementary colors together, they neutralize each other. Here is Cadmium Orange Hue on the left, a warm, glowing orange, and on the right is Ultramarine, a cooler, deeper blue. I began this painting by identifying the lightest area first. Those areas were left mostly untouched, allowing the white of the paper to remain visible. Next, I looked for the major shadow shapes. Instead of outlining every petal, I focused on where one value shape met another. With a white rose, we are not really painting the white itself. We are painting the shadows, the soft value changes, and the subtle shifts in color temperature that allow the white to appear. Some shadows lean cooler, so I used a mixture with more ultramarine. Other areas felt warmer, so I allowed more of the orange neutral quality to remain. Now you can clearly see the full range created by two complementary colors, from the warmer neutrals in the center of the flower to the cooler neutrals toward the outer petals and edges. That center point is the most neutral gray you can achieve with these two colors. Not black, not gray from a tube, or living gray made from color. This is the value range created from the neutral mixture. In watercolor, we control value largely through the amount of water we use. The more water you add, the more the white of the paper shows through, and the lighter the value becomes. Here you can see the range moving from dark to light. If I had used less water, I could have created an even darker value close to black. This is why in watercolor you do not necessarily need black or white paint. The paper provides the light, and the concentration of pigment controls the dark. Don't leave the background until the very end. As you develop the flower, continue working on the surrounding spaces as well. The background is not just an empty area behind the subject. It is an essential part of the whole composition. It helps define the edges of the flower, creates contrast, and supports the overall mood and balance of the painting. Now I return to the flower to adjust the values. Ideally, it's best to establish the value relationships as accurately as possible in the first layers. This helps preserve the freshness and transparency that are so essential to watercolor. But in practice, there is almost always something to refine. You can certainly return to adjusting the values, but keep one principle in mind. Maintaining the fresh quality of the painting is often more important than correcting every small value difference. This is one of the most difficult judgments in watercolor. I have had many moments when I kept going back, trying to fix the values, only to lose the freshness of the painting. We all know that struggle. Knowing when to stop is often as important as knowing what to paint. The goal was not to paint every petal with the same level of detail. Instead, the process was about painting around the light, preserving the brightest areas, gradually building the shadows, and allowing the white to emerge through the value structure. Then the form of the rose gradually begins to emerge. Two colors, water, and the white of the paper. That's the entire painting. Now, look at the rose one more time. Every petal edge, every curve, every shadow that gives the flower its shape. It all began as a line. In my next video, we are going to explore the most fundamental element of all art, line. And I think it will change the way you see everything you paint from here on. I'll see you there.